hear the voice of reason.
Welcome to another edition of Tell It How It Is, No Filter. This is Voice of Reason, NF, in case you didn't know. I know, it's really just Voice of Reason. The NF is for no filter. The thing with YouTube and anything you create, we're not really unique. When I try to do Voice of Reason alone, that's universal because everybody's going to use that term. It's a common term, I guess. But the NF goes because No Filter is the podcast. So I just tacked it on with Voice of Reason. Just for a little background info in case you care to know. Anyway, how's everybody doing? Fourth quarter. We are saying goodbye to 2024. Not yet, but very shortly. So I wanted you to reflect on this past year. See what was good for you. See what you can improve. See what was, break this down and analyze how your year went. And then enter the next year with that knowledge and try to get shit rolling right away. Because everybody gets these New Year's resolutions and what they're going to do better and how they're going to start the new year. But in reality, nobody does shit. So if you can, from right now, analyze how stuff went for you, you can kind of jump ahead of this and try to start the year strong. That's all I got. That was early because I'm going to have a few more episodes before we actually hit 2025. I just wanted to get you that because that was on the brain. Let's go right in. If you didn't bring value, she is not coming back. Fellas, you know what you could do. You know your potential. Half of the time, the stuff we get done or the stuff we don't get done or whatever's on the brain, right? We're being lazy, making excuses, or just drawing up some negative shit to just distract us from the shit we can achieve. But if we really get to it, I'm going to be positive. I feel like we can get almost anything done when you eliminate all the negative distractions and the stuff that you do to try to justify why you ain't in a better place. But that's just game for you right there. As far as the women, if something didn't work out, easier said than done. If something doesn't work out that you wanted it to, you really had good energy for it, you was into it for whatever reasons, we won't get that deep, and it didn't work out, and whether you called it off or she called it off or they called it off, whatever, you got to accept it, right? Easier said than done. But the coming back thing, I'm big on trying to support the fact that what's the past is the past. So my advice, fellas, is you shouldn't want her to come back. Some of us, I'll be Voice of Reason, some of us wants that reassurance because that is what trying to come back does. So now, do you want reassurance and that's it? So if they try to come back, you go, okay, it wasn't me, I'm not bugging. Or do you really want the person back? That's for you to figure out. But just know, be knowledgeable that if you didn't bring any value, you won't even get this option. So you're just gonna have to move on regardless. It may sound petty, a little shallow. I support my fellas that wants their ex or whoever to try to come back to bring reassurance in case you had any doubt. Some want that reassurance even if they had no doubt, like if they knew they was 100. You know what I mean? Like sometimes it's just, extra rewarding. But you had to have done something for somebody to want to be back in your space. So analyze that internally and see what value you hold. But in reality, move forward, present, and the future. Your story, your book of life, gonna have chapters. You would love to hear a simple story of, everything kind of just went from, Your childhood was smooth. You grew up. You got your dream job off rip. You got your dream partner. You obtain all the material things that you want. Nice house, nice car. You know, these are the nice, lovely, cozy stories. Sorry to say, those are not very popular. So you have to grind it out a little bit. Your story, your book is going to take some turns. It's going to be a lot of chapters in there that trip you up and trip the people up who are on the sidelines watching. Stay strong though, because it's not about the book and how it starts or how many chapters. It's how the story ends. That's all I got for you on that. Being friends after a breakup. Parentheses, no way. This could be debatable, going back to things running smooth. So now there are breakups that end amicably, peacefully, and you know, y'all just realize that that's not it. So those scenarios, people may say being friends should do more good than harm. Is that an emotional decision if we say that no, we don't see the point of that? Can I give you scenarios where it makes sense? I mean, if you really were friends first, you know, I hear a lot of women, they would rather that, you know, before a relationship is said and spoken for, you want to get to know each other. So the friendship stage sort of develops. So now if you did it that way and the relationship ends amicably, why not? Because you already knew what being friends were like. This is what I'm playing along. I'm playing voice of reason with what I've heard around the times and the towns. What I'm saying about that is, nah, it's not the same. So you can choose to do what you want, but the friendship mindset when getting to know someone to be in a relationship is not the same friend mindset when y'all done. And women, I can't speak for y'all, but fellas, let's just keep it a buck. When we're being the friend in the beginning, what is the motive? To get past that. So now, if we were friends and the motive was to get past that, we get past that, then it's over. What is the motivation to be the friend? I'm sorry to sound cold. I'm just keeping it a buck. What is the motivation now? You can, but it's not like this loyal, noble thing. Like, yeah, you know, because we broke up so smooth, we should be friends. I'm not. I don't really feel that. Sorry if I'm being biased. Nah. And I wish we could have like a live example because I want to ask, you know, I could do this online or somewhere else, you know, it don't got to be the podcast. If I find someone who, God forbid, was a couple since they were like teenagers. Let's take a scenario where there was teenagers and it was a couple from then and now they're like, let's say they're late 40s, mid 40s, and they broke up. Not then and there, but whenever they broke up. But they were together so long. Ask them if they're friends. Because there's no need of faking it. Like what type of friends you going to be? You're going to be the type of friend that, okay, every 6 months, every 3 months, hey, what's up? Just checking in. How you? That type? Or y'all going to really be like, yo, the person you can go to? I don't know. I'm not feeling like that goes well more times than not. If you could pull it off, I'm always for the possibles, even though we're supposed to operate on probable. If you could pull a possible, rock out. But I don't really see it. I don't want to be friends. If it don't work, go about your respectful way, do you? How do you become someone's type? Parentheses, suspect. Men and women operate different. This pod, I'm sorry, before I get to what I really want to say, make sure you hit the notification bell, like, comment, subscribe, share. Mondays, 12 noon on YouTube. That was like my own created commercial right there, right? All right, boom. So this segment may seem one-sided. Sorry, ladies. Because like we operate different. So just these first couple I've done already, it's definitely from the male's perspective. So how do you become someone's type? Women would say, oh, we got to know each other, the whole friendship in the beginning. Baby steps. I've been told that on numerous occasions. And initially, I didn't like him, is what a woman would say. But you know what? After the interactings, discussions, bonding, he grew on me. She grew on me. I'm probably not really being voice of reason today. I don't like the sound of that. I grew on you. What am I, like a friggin' extra muscle? like what we doing? I grew on you. Listen, it doesn't have to be microwaved. I don't mean 30 seconds to a minute. But there are things and interactions that kind of tell the story immediately. A day or two, a week or two. That doesn't mean you're gonna proclaim your love. I don't expect that. But you grew on somebody, that would be more slightly understanding in a situation like people you work with, a job, something where money's being made. Then you have like that open mind, like, you know what I mean? We're value here. We're making some bread. But love life, partnership, couples, there ain't no grow on me. I'm not feeling it. I'm sorry. Suspect, like the parentheses. It just doesn't resonate. You know what I mean? There's probable, there's possible. Prove me wrong in the possibles. Can this be someone's tale? Absolutely. I'm advising the guys, you don't become her type. If she not rocking with you, she not rocking with you. And for those possible times where I could be wrong, wouldn't that sit with you like a way, like, she didn't like me at first, all of a sudden she liked me. So what are you, changing how you are? You're changing you to get liked? You see how that ain't? It just doesn't rock for me. Now, you guys with your motives, I'm not trying to call you out, blast you. If you're just trying to, have some grown fun and you want to change shit up to have grown fun, I still wouldn't say that that's your best bet or something favorable for you. But who am I to get in the way of the chase? Go ahead. But that's the only way I'm going to even give you any type of, I think I understand, is you wanted to have adult fun that bad that you changed up your shit to become somebody's type. It's just, this is very questionable. I wouldn't buck. You know what I mean? So, to bring positive light to the end of that phrase or topic, as we say, positive light. You are dope the way you are. Even if you're not, this is what you start and operate from. You do the things to make you a better person for yourself. You try and you work hard towards that for you, not for anyone else. So if you get to a point where you're satisfied with how you look, feel, move, etc., you hold that and you stand on that. And now anybody that interacts with you across the scale, work, friend, associate, lover, partner, whatever, whoever comes in your space it's going to feel that energy. And either you with it or you not. I'm not changing shit, and you shouldn't either. And on a humble note, you should be cool with it. Nobody's everybody's type. Nobody's just, you wish there was a world where everybody's loved by a person or vice versa, or it just goes smooth like that. This is a very opinionated world. People think and feel differently, even though we may have similarities. So it's cool. I don't want to be everybody's type. I'm not trying to grow on everybody. Like, it just sounds retarded to me. Be yourself. Don't change. Don't try to adjust and adapt to surroundings or lifestyles or music, even learning music that might get you, cut it out. Dressing differently. You is who you is for a reason. As long as you don't have a lot of negative and unprogressive things to report about yourself, ain't no change. Ride it out and do the adjustment. You can adjust, but you shouldn't have to change. Like that ass. Okay. Mase off of It Is What It Is. Shout out to Killer and Murder and Stat. Mase says can artists and athletes find real love? It was an interesting convo. You can check it out on YouTube, TikTok, wherever. It's called It Is What It Is. Mentally, I chimed in off rip. Like, regular folks struggle with this. So, is it really because of the money and the attention and the fame that they can't find it? Because your real character and how you really are is still there, whether you have $1 or $1 billion. Yeah, you change. You may have to, adjust, not change. I'm strong on adjustments, not supportive of change, really. In certain scenarios. Let's not take me literal here. My chime in is like, I feel all walks of life struggle. Can you we're doing a little pity party because artists and athletes, they draw a lot more attention. So they have to choose more carefully because people are coming to them for not genuine reasons. I mean, I feel like this is a cutthroat world that if you're doing what good, you ain't got to be famous. If you got anything going on, especially geographically, like in your section where you live, you're more successful than the average Joe. You have to worry about the same thing, about people being genuine or not. If you have anything. So I don't feel like you're a bailout whether you're famous or not, as far as sympathy for the struggle of this. My advice to that is don't search, don't look. Just find real love. This back to the fairy tale shit I was saying earlier. Your life may not just go that smoothly throughout. So get on your grind, your purpose. We say this countlessly. I'll never stop saying that. Don't search, don't look. If you meet somebody, there's a liking involved. You don't force, you don't press for nothing. People may not like how I say low expectations to none, because I feel if you already look at it like nothing's owed to me, if I just live this straight and narrow, work, grind, or whatever, success to the extent of my satisfaction, take care of my responsibilities, kids, property, whatever you are responsible for, and you're doing those things. These are the musts. To find the real love, sorry, it's not a must to me. It's cool, no doubt. And I'm not really as hardcore as I sound about it because I'm just telling you to operate off the don't search, don't look. If we all find it, I'm all for it. I'm not against if it really works out itself. And not itself, meaning like it comes to you organically and without force and without the pressures of, oh, I need this. And you see something manifest beautifully and it is really rocking. No doubt. Like, who am I to say no to that? That's dope. But I'm telling you, you put pressure indirectly, more men, more women than men. I'm one-sided again. I don't feel like men, maybe the older they get, or I don't know, something happens to them. And now they may side with women slightly in the whole painting it in their head that I need to find this or I want this. I felt like the energy came from women first. And when I say first, I'm not talking about the beginning of time or none of that. I'm just saying, like, as long as I can remember, I just strongly feel women pushed for this more. And there's no judgment on it all. I ain't mad at y'all. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying that's where I feel the energy came from. And men kind of like shied away from it unless something popped off, unless some other underlying reason, weird shit, because it's a weird world we live in, or they got older, or maybe they seen their parents or they aunts or uncles or whatever be successful at that, so they trying to copy and paste. None of this stuff is wrong. I'm just saying, like, I feel like you do better when you operate in reality of just take care of the things that's a must. The things you must do day to day for survival, to live, to be comfortable in your own space and your own skin. But I know the ones that could watch this segment that are totally engulfed in love and successfully partnered up might take me as a little negative. That's fair. Because you see, we are in the mindset of what we currently deal with to an extent. So somebody's who's successfully happy, married, partnered up, whatever, I would hope they still operate in reality, because what's here today could be going, see, now we're going tomorrow. Turn me off. Turn it off right now. Stop it. Because I know y'all gonna be like, that's mad negative. Listen, everybody who's out there in love, happy, successfully partnered up, I wish you the best, and that's beautiful, man. I really don't mean no harm. It's just that I guess shit pops off sometimes and you feel like you gotta protect yourself, because your inner peace and your mental, that's a very fragile thing, because a lot of shit that pop off in this world, all jokes aside, a lot of shit that pops off in the world is because that inner peace and mental, that fragileness, that shit got destroyed, damaged, shifted. Whatever else you could say about it that doesn't make it align where it's supposed to. And that's how the shit pop off with a lot of shit that happens in the world, violently and etc. You know what I mean? So it doesn't really make the world a better place when those things are unstable. So you do what you got to do to keep those things stable. So my inner peace and my mental, that's my approach. Operate in reality. What are the things I really need? There's wants and needs, right? So forgive me. But the ones who, again, I love to be proven wrong in a positive way. So I'm going with probable. Prove me wrong in the possible. Okay? All right. The more you like someone, mental, maybe errors in your approach. The less you like someone, mental, you can do no wrong. Does this make sense? It's more for the fellas again. Fellas, you see something. However, walking down the street, walking in the store, any movements you make throughout whatever day, and you come across, yeah, I'll help you. I'll make this fun. Let's just call it what it is. Physically, you see something you like, damn, yo, she is bad. That's a mean one right there. I got to have that one. I got to get that one right there. Woo. Anyway, what are you doing now? Some men shine in this. Like this doesn't apply to all men. They could put on their best because they're motivated. They really want that one. Cool. The more down to earth fellas that's not as overtly confident, because you can have all the confidence in the world. I feel like this does like tie in with some of us. You have that same feeling, right? That I gotta get that one. But now your approach. And I think that's based off the person you're approaching. Like, do they seem if they're like more, I don't want to say shallow, like they have no substance, but if they seem more on the what you can do for me, I'm not going to get political and say, well, don't chase that. Whatever's the reason you approach whatever. But if they don't seem like solid substance and got something going on, then you could just eliminate this whole thing. My thing is if something turns you on that they actually are also solid in their vision and how they move and what they expect out of life and all that. Like they give you the full spectrum in the moment. Because, a lot of people got their representatives and they may seem that way at first and then that's not how they really is. But you approach and you like a little, you may be judging yourself. Like, damn, I really wanted that bad. Do I got the right cologne on? Is my breath fresh? Let me adjust my volume. Let me fix my collar. And make sure I get this right. These the mental. That's why I call it mental. And now you're doing all of that while you're trying to do your approach. I'm here to say that there's nothing wrong with that. That's the bottom line for saying this. Because it's like your enthusiasm and your anticipation. You may get a little anxiety off of that. Because it's something exciting you really want. When you really want something, these may be the thoughts in your head. Like, am I, Let me make sure. So as opposed to the less you like it, and that doesn't mean you don't like it with value, like you don't appreciate it, but something more on your level, fellas, something more that's your speed, something more that's kind of like, all right, I like what's going on right there. I think you can mentally tell yourself you can't do no wrong. So now if you approach and you unsuccessful, it's like you're confused, but not really. You didn't really do anything wrong, but it just wasn't a match or the timing. I didn't really stress that on the one that you really want because I want you to get who you really want. When you go for something that's just on your level and you don't get them, I think you can handle that better. Or sometimes the mind is that tricky. Like because you wasn't really on it like that, you may look at it like, damn, it was all right. Like she was on my level. She wasn't fucking with me. All right, whatever. Eat that. Shake that either way. Either way, shake that. But I just was given that to say that there's nothing wrong with that, fellas. Everybody want to act flawless, like when they tell their stories of all their interactions, whether it be money, business, women, etc. They tell the tale flawlessly. But in reality, we all have felt humanly at some point. Some of us had a certain doubt somewhere in some approach. Some of us question some things, and like we all done it, whether we admit it or not. Cool, but let's not be naive. It's all right, kind of like shake off of much of it as you can, if you really are in the pursuit of something. And I won't leave it just on women, and you trying to catch, some adult fun. Let's apply that everywhere. So, in success, business, any pursuit of any purposeful projects, have that same approach. I mean, be mindful that you may have some doubts, but try to like lock in and overcome the doubts and then get to it. You know what I mean? So there was a message within the message, if that makes sense. I like that one though, because a lot of people aren't honest about things, and that's why we can't confide in each other. That's why the conversation to people, especially amongst our peers, same you know, men going to their male counterparts, and women, I don't know what they do. You know, sometimes they could luck out or have just this crazy mixture where there's some women that they have that they will never go to because of how they think. But I feel like women can find that group of girls that will sympathize with them, whether genuinely or not. I feel like guys, we so limited. We can't really tap in with our guys about how we really feel, our, you know, insecurities or such. Maybe you can physically, you know, if you're not in the best shape and your group of guys is the same, y'all could all like ante up and go start doing something about that, you know, physically. But mental, nah, that's a tough one. So just protect your mental, protect your inner peace at all costs. You know what I'm saying? So you don't snap like a twig and bug out. So I know I kind of went on a rant there towards the end of this, but I want y'all to really take in how important that is, because a lot of your actions and a lot of things and a lot of the ways you move is based on that, whether you want to admit that or not. It seems small. It seems simple. It's like, what? Some people are just existing. Like they just get up and they go. But I'm telling you, that has to be intact. I think for the ones who don't even realize if it's intact or not, or don't pay attention to what I'm saying here, you just haven't come across a situation, and I don't wish it to, where you got tested like that to see where your mental is, really, or you ignore it, or you just like zone out somewhere else with it. But if you really tap in and check your mental and your inner peace, you'll know if you have control of it or not. Trust. And I want you to get control of it. You hear me? All right, so to the next time, you know my 3 Ps: stay productive, stay positive, and stay progressive.
How's that? You was squirming loud whack and locked in toilet with my homies. Illa now scratch, vow to keep it real, how me and my fam on it. Can't stop our goals, still haters gon' plan on it. Already locked and loaded, both of my hands on it. If you say it, gotta mean it, you speak it, then stand on it.
Put 100 grand on it, you don't make that in a year. My buddy, I take him everywhere. Who that? Who listen to new cats? We do dirt for real, don't care if our clothes and our shoes match.
Got 'em asking who's that?